Hey everyone, it's 12:30. Oh, 12:39. Okay, missed it by 9 minutes today, but here I am. I'm Rhonda Uretsky from Riverflow Yoga, and this is our midday session of yoga and mindfulness called Blissful Warrior. And it's called Blissful Warrior after many things, a book that I wrote a handful of years ago called The Blissful Warrior, but mostly it's an expression that I use to describe somebody who is prepared to be a warrior about being happy, about their own happiness, their own level of bliss. I know this sounds a little bit touchy-feely, right? This idea that you are supposed to be happy, that life is meant to be fun, especially in the midst of all that we're experiencing right now. It can sound a little blasphemous to say that even in the midst of these times of political upheaval and racial inequality and constant barrage of news media information, and certainly, of course, this global pandemic that has brought so many of us to our knees, whether we've experienced it personally in terms of health or loss of business, loss of income, loss of family members and friends, or whether we're just reading about it. And for many of my friends, many of the people that I talk to, I know they tell me so much that their heart just aches every time they read the news. And so, how do you maintain your adamant position about being blissful? Well, I can tell you that once you let go of that, once you become this crumbled up piece of paper that's just being thrown about on the storm of whatever news happens to come across your Facebook feed today, then you're lost in many, many ways. I know that you feel the loss inside of yourself, the loss of control, certainly the loss of the joy of living. But you also lose something very, very important that many of us are thinking that we can maintain by staying out of our feelings. And that is the loss of ability to think logically and to think clearly. My good friend Mary Cordelia, who is the head of the Neuro Alignment Institute, I love to quote her because she, to me, is the most beautiful blend of heart-opening and science-based. She really insists that both things match up before she'll disseminate any information. And one of the things that she talks about, and in particular that we talked about today, was that in experiments, in fMRI experiments where they take pictures of the brain, the part of your brain that deals with logical, reasonable thinking goes dark when you're in a state of anxiety or worry or frustration or anger. In any kind of extreme state where you feel like you have lost control, that part of your brain that helps you to reason, to think clearly through situations, even to find solutions to issues that you consider problems, that part of your brain goes dark. You are now in the fight or flight part of your brain, and everything else that's not related to keeping you alive in this moment begins to go quiet. So it's a good thing that we have this parasympathetic nervous system that will keep our heart beating when we're in fight or flight. And you can feel the intensity of your heartbeat when you become agitated or angry or upset. But thank goodness we don't have to think about it with the part of our brain that controls functions that keep us alive, because we don't have access to the part of our brain that's logically based and rationally thinking when we are extremely upset. There are very, very many good evolutionary reasons why this is true. If you're about to step out into the street and there's oncoming traffic and there's a bus coming at you, you don't have time. Your mind realizes that you don't have time to think logically what would be the best move for me to make in this moment. You simply have to react. And the amount of adrenaline and the amount of rush that comes through you to make you react to this truly life-threatening situation is necessary. But consider that when we live in a time like we're living in right now, where every little bit of information has that feeling, it produces that feeling inside of us like a bus is just about to hit us. You get this kind of chaotic activity going on in your nervous system at all times until your nervous system is operating at such a high gear, constantly being stressed and triggered. There simply isn't any time or place for this nervous system to calm down. Then you are constantly in a state of fight or flight, regardless of whether you are facing a life or death situation, and your ability to think and act in a way that is going to be solution oriented and rationally produce the results that you're actually looking for when you take action has gone quiet. And so instead, we have to take ourselves quiet. We have to pull ourselves back from the ledge, no matter how, what's the adjective I can use? No matter how desperately it seems like we need to be on that ledge, no matter what the issue of the moment is that's making you feel that heightened sense of need to do something right now, still, you will not be a productive contributor to the solution that you're so looking for unless you have calmed yourself enough to allow that beautiful part of your brain that has access to so many creative solutions to be lighted up. And so here we are with a warrior intention to be blissful, meaning to be peaceful, to calm down, to get to the point where you feel like yourself. Now, we all have different kinds of baselines where we feel like ourselves. Some people are more naturally active than others, and that feels calming. Some people are very, very chill. And to some people who are more naturally, let's say, active, that might look like complacency. But we all have a place where we feel most like ourselves, this place of grounded grace inside your nervous system, inside this being that you refer to as you. And from that place, you can come forth as yourself. And as yourself, you are a magnificent contributor to any solutions, to any conditions that you'd like to affect. So, Blissful Warrior, how do you get there? Well, you're already there. This place is already inside of you. It's your birthright. You actually do not only have the ability, but you have the memory of what it feels like to be yourself. And yet, perhaps there's been a lot of this going on in your life, certainly since March, and maybe even before that. Could have been that you lived your life in a high state of activation before this additional trauma got piled on top of you. And now you kind of feel like you're underneath all of this glitter and there's just no way to dig yourself out. But there is. And just as this place inside of you that I call Blissful Warrior is part of who you are, it's your birthright. I would even go so far as to say it's the larger part of who you are, even if it's not at this moment the most familiar part. The part of you that you might be most familiar with right now is the anger and the frustration. And I am not going to tell you that that's wrong for you to feel whatever you're feeling, or that you need to change it, or that you need to fix it. I'm simply going to ask the question, which part of you would you prefer to live your life from? The angry, frustrated, constantly triggered part, or the part where you feel soothed enough to move forward into situations that have the potential to be triggering, and you can still behave as you? If the answer is B, if you really would like to remember what it feels like to be at home in your life, at home in your body, in your nervous system, in your interactions with others, then you're in the right place, my friends. Because we are going to do some practices, and I call them practices. This is not about getting it right or getting it perfect. Those things have no place in the life of a blissful warrior. You are here to show up and remember who you are, and I will take you through these simple steps. And they are simple. Again, I love to have this distinction. They might not be easy because they're not habits anymore. But the steps that I'm going to take you through, that I'm going to guide you through and do them myself, because I make no bones about it, this is my daily practice as well. I need this blissful warrior in me to become more apparent as much as anybody does, as much as you do. But as I take you through these simple steps that will not require you to be super flexible, which is what so many people say to me when they want to start yoga. I really want to do yoga, but I'm just not flexible. Or young, or overweight or underweight, or have a bad diet. None of these things that we're going to do today are going to pay any mind to any of that. Because beyond all of that, and over and above all of that, you are still this beautiful, expansive, blissfully vibrational being, and you have control over the way you choose to react to situations and conditions around you that you may not be able to change. But this right here, you have complete control over that. Let that just settle in for a moment. There's so many things in our lives right now that we feel like we have no control over. If I asked you to make a list, you could, I'm sure, make a list of many multiples of 10 of things that you feel like are just outside of your control right now. But if I asked you to list what things you feel in complete control of, you might be at a loss to find any. So here I am telling you that you do have complete 100% control over this right here. This person that you are, and this person that you choose to go forth as. And it's just a matter of practicing. Right? You practice in order to have the kind of blissful life, the kind of joy that you can call upon at any time, despite conditions. When I show you these practices, and some of you have been with me now since the beginning, which is March, that we have been offering this Blissful Warrior practice every day, and I say offering to share it with you, because again, as I am very quick to say, this is my practice. I have been a yoga teacher and a yoga practitioner for over 45 years, and I know the difference in myself when I'm practicing and when I'm not. So I know for a fact, for myself, this practice is of the utmost importance to me, and so I'm sharing it with anybody who decides that it resonates for them, that they too want to feel like a blissful warrior in this time of so much confusion and so much disarray. And so as I take you through these practices, practicing myself, practicing with you, guiding you with little tips and things, tricks that I have learned over my 45 years of yoga and meditation, mindfulness and spiritual teachings with so many beautiful teachers. I'm going to share these things, and I ask you to try them on. Despite my years of mastery, supposedly, in this subject, in this topic of yoga, I am not the authority of you. Only you know how you feel in every moment, and I invite you to let that in to this practice right now. If you're feeling angry or upset or triggered, even by things that I'm saying, have a moment of just accepting, I am where I am. If you resist or deny or push against these things that you feel to be so in the moment, you're just creating more stress, more lack of control. So let's begin with a little bit of just delicate self-assessment. And I say delicate because very often I find that with my yoga students, self-assessment quickly moves into self-judgment. When I say self-assessment, sometimes the things that come up immediately are the things that are wrong with you, right? And then there's nothing wrong with you, let me be clear about it, but that's what comes up for many people about the way their bodies feel or look, or the way their lives feel or look, or where they are in the position in their lives, financially or emotionally or relationship-wise. We're not talking about any of that. I'd like you to simply check in and give yourself a number from 1 to 10 on what I call the emotional awareness scale. 1, very, very chill, feeling relaxed, maybe even anticipating the joy and the relaxation that's about to come. 10 is you're very triggered and activated. Maybe something happened this morning that got you upset. Maybe you woke up in anxiety. Not unusual. I promise you are not alone if you are one of the many, many, many students that tell me that they simply wake up in a state of anxiety and go to sleep in a state of confusion and stress. So 1 to 10, checking in, sort of doing exactly that, being like an observer, lightly looking in to notice where you are on that scale. I say 3. I absolutely did have some triggering events this morning. But what's really beautiful about being a blissful warrior is that you get to the point where even when the triggering events are happening and you are being triggered by them, you can feel this sort of thing happening inside of you, you do have the ability to be the observer as well, to look in and say, oh, I notice I'm really feeling angry about that. I notice I'm feeling really frustrated by that. And I promise it sounds like, sounds a little hokey, but the difference between being swept away in this strong sweep of activation and being the observer of it is miles apart. And sometimes you'll be swept away, and sometimes you'll be able to place a foundation under your feet. You know, it's as if you're in quicksand, right? And there's nothing to hold on to, and then suddenly there's a foundation under you, and you find that you can stand again. You still can feel the pull, but you have something to stand on, to ground yourself, to begin to rise up out of that state that you don't want to be in. So you've checked in and you've given yourself a number. And I promise you, whatever number you've settled on is the right one for you. Totally appropriate. Good. Now I'd like you to say out loud or to yourself, or type it here in the comments, okay, got it. I am where I am. This is my starting point. Okay, I got it. And now let's drink some water. Again, I always forget that there are people who are joining this for the first time today and they don't know that I'm going to say drink some water, and so they don't have water beside them. If that's you, or if you're watching later, you know, and you're a first timer, you sort of scrolling through your Facebook feed and, oh, what's this weird looking person doing? Let me see. Get some water. It's time to drink water. It's always a good time to drink water. Water is one of these magic yet incredibly available ways to soothe yourself. Drink water. Those of you who've been with me for a while, maybe you are on this 30-day experiment of drinking half your body weight in ounces of water every day, and then just again, being the observer. What do you notice? I personally, when I started doing this, and I've been doing this for a very, very long time, noticed changes in the texture of my hair, the texture of my skin, the color of my lips. Strange, right? But I noticed my lips got more kind of rosy in color. My energy level was better. I can really feel the difference now when I take a drink of water and how I felt before I took the drink of water, even if I thought I was at a 3, and then afterwards, the subtle but really recognizable difference that I feel in my nervous. Try it. For me, water is a lot like yoga. Once I get started and I start to feel the deliciousness of it, I really don't like to stop. So a couple of sips becomes a quarter of a bottle very quickly. And notice how you feel. There's no right or wrong answers here, my friends. Noticing how you feel is its own reward. Being able to have your sense of awareness in this present moment, that's the reward right there and in and of itself. Bringing yourself into the present moment where there is no speeding bus coming at you. Right? You're not outside in the woods where a bear is about to attack. You're here. If you're watching this, then you have internet. You are likely in a safe enough place, maybe even a beautiful place. So let your nervous system have that information and settle. And now let's physically settle. Pick a position for your body. You can sit on the ground, which is what I'm doing. And I say this all the time, and I will say it again. I'm sitting on a cushion One of the really beautiful, easy tricks about sitting on the floor cross-legged is if you bring a cushion and place it under your butt, you allow your hips to tilt down, if you will slide your body towards the front edge of that cushion, and your hips will relax and your knees will just gently start to tilt downward. You might notice yourself kind of holding your knees up until gravity comes to help you out and lets your knees get pulled downward, and feel the delicious sense of relaxation, right? It's this feeling right here when things in your body start to click into place. It's this feeling of everything getting kind of slower and softer and coming into a place of settling. If you'd rather not sit on the floor, if that's not your preference today, you're entitled to your preferences. Sit in a chair. Maybe you already are. Sometimes people tell me that they just leave this on in the background as they continue in on their Zoom meeting, whatever it is that you're doing here at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the middle of the day. That's still fine. Sometimes you'd rather not sit at all. But before we leave the chair sitting, let me remind you again, if you have an amazing opportunity to get this nervous system to calm down and ground itself by placing both feet on the floor. Sit wherever you need to sit on that chair in order that both feet, the soles of your feet, will touch the floor. For me, I'm 5'1", I need to usually sit at the far edge of the chair. But as both of your feet come to the floor, sense this grounding that's happening in your nervous system. It is a physical change that's happening in your nervous system when both feet, the soles of your feet, will be flat on the floor. If you'd rather not sit, maybe you'd rather lie down. Maybe you've been sitting all morning, or you don't even need a reason for it. It's just your preference in this moment to be lying down. Lie on your back. Bring your arms to your sides. Let your palms face up. Keep your arms far from your body. Notice the difference in how your arms feel and the tension that you feel when your arms are close to your torso or when they're kind of slid further away. And find that place, that distance between your arms and your torso where things begin to feel light. Palms facing up, your fingers are naturally curled, your legs are out in front of you. And I know for some people who have some lower back twinge, keeping the legs straight out can be a little bit jarring. So let your heels touch inward and your toes flop outward. And you've arrived. In this moment, right here, right now, you are present. That in and of itself is extremely calming to your nervous system, because you can look around and notice that there are no speeding buses coming right at you. That you're in a nice safe place and you can feel the calm of it. Now let's move into some breathing. Taking this beginning calm nervous system soothed with water and taking it to the next simple yet profoundly calming step, which is deep breathing. So finding a place for your hands. If you're sitting cross-legged, you might try palms on your knees, palms down, or backs of your hands on the knees, palms up. You might try palms in your lap, facing up, thumbs touching. If you're sitting in a chair, you might try palms resting on your thighs or even on your knees, keeping your elbows sort of bent a little bit, pulling downward. And if you're lying on the ground, you're already relaxed. We're going to be breathing in and out through the nose and hearing this breath pass through the back of your throat. Now, when you hear this loud sort of Darth Vader sound in the back of the throat, you are stroking your vagus nerve. This is the longest nerve in your body. It goes from the base of your brain into these channels, behind your earlobes, down your throat, into your gut, branching out all along the way and controlling your entire parasympathetic nervous system. That's the nervous system that controls the heartbeat and the digestive system and all those other wonderful functions of your body that you don't have to do anything about. You can simply trust that they're being taken care of. So you want to make this breath loud and deep. You want to hear it in the back of your throat on the inhale and on the exhale. Let's begin. Inhale. Fill your abdomen. Fill your thoracic cavity so you feel your ribs coming apart. Pull your collarbones nice and wide, allowing your chest to open up to this breath. Let your chin drop a little bit. Keep your gaze soft in front of you and exhale. Feel your rib cage deflating. Let your belly empty completely. Keep exhaling, or maybe you're not exhaling anymore, but stay empty. Drop your tailbone down to the ground and let it tuck slightly up towards your navel. Again, you'll feel this little lift in the chest. It's satisfying. Inhale. Can you hear that ocean sound in the base of your throat as you balloon your belly out? Let your rib cage come wide apart. Pull your collarbones side to side as if you're creating one long collarbone instead of two. Drop your chin a little. Move your head back on top of your neck. Keep your eyes softly focused on something in front of you that you're looking at more out of the tops of your eyes. Exhale. Hearing that loud ha sound vibrating through the back of your throat as you deflate your belly, drop your tailbone and tuck it up a little towards your navel. Inhale. Pull your collarbones wide, letting your chin drop, keeping your gaze soft. Exhale. And now on that scale of 1 to 10, what do you observe? What do you notice? Has the number changed at all? Has it stayed the same? How does it feel inside of your body and inside of your head right now? What adjective comes to mind? Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Collarbones wide. Stay here in a full breath. It might feel like you're holding your breath, but just stay here and notice how relaxing it is, because mostly we use about 30% of our lung capacity when we breathe, and there's just so much more available to us. Doesn't feel like you're going to be gasping for breath at all, even if you feel like you're not really inhaling much more. Exhale. Deflate your belly. Drop your tailbone down. Tuck it up. Undulate towards the navel. Inhale. Collarbones wide. The shoulders stay down from the ears when you pull the collarbones wide, and the chest opens in a way that makes you feel expansive, like a warrior. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Some people, I include myself in this group, have a moment in this breathing where something crosses over, something gets uncovered, something comes back, something familiar rears its head again. And for me, I almost feel it like almost a not dizzying feeling, but almost a swooning feeling. Just a gentle rocking that makes me feel like at this moment, I can handle anything that comes up. And interestingly, for me, if in this moment when I feel this way, I think back to that activating, triggering situation of the morning, it doesn't seem so bad. I know I was really upset about it earlier, a few hours earlier. I mean, not that long ago. And yet right now, right here, it doesn't seem very bad. It seems sort of soft and distant. That's my wish for you, that you can actually feel the difference in your emotional abilities as you give yourself this beautiful self-soothing water, settling your body into the present moment, breathing. So if that's all you have time for today, I don't mean to make it sound diminished. If that's what you have time for today as you join this Blissful Warrior practice, you've done yourself a world of good. You can feel it. You don't even need me to validate it for you. The way you feel right now is the reward that you will take with you into the rest of this day. But the next practice that we move into here in Blissful Warrior is a bit of yoga asana, movement. Now let me be clear, we're not doing the yoga asana in order to perfect the poses, in order to have beautiful postures. We're doing these for the same reason that we drink water and settle our bodies and breathe, to reconnect with that part of ourselves that really is the bigger, wider, more expansive part of who we came here to be. So, if you would like to join in these stretches, I'm going to guide you through with very detailed instructions. There is no place for pain in the practice of the Blissful Warrior. So if anything that I'm directing you to do feels painful, just back it down. It's just the message that you've gone into a place that you're not really ready, soothed enough to be in right now. Not an indictment, it's an awareness. And only you can have that awareness. But I promise you that all of the movements that I guide you through here are designed to be that way, to be soothing and gentle and stretching. And in this soothing, you will find your empowerment. So we're going to lie down again. If you join this practice by lying down, you're already there. If you're sitting in a chair, maybe you'd like to join us here on the floor for a moment. And if you're on the floor, you're in a great place to lie down, but let's maybe take another couple of sips of water. It's so really nice to acclimate yourself into this half your body weight in ounces of water every day. Well, gently. You don't have to chug the whole bottle, even though I would, but gently, right? Soothing your way in. That's the way of the depth that you're looking for. Okay, let's lie down, shall we? Lie on your back. I'm going to do some camera adjustment. There are some people who prefer to watch these poses and not do them. That's your benefit today. There are some people who are listening to the instructions and won't be watching the screen at all, and there are those who are going to want to feel inspired to join in the movements today. So for everybody, I'd like to make sure you have the best possible view. So we're going to lie down on our backs. Settle down. There we go. Arms are at your sides, and remember before I said to sort of slide your arms from your body. Keep the slide with your arms on the ground. Feel that really nice soothing texture under your arms. Find a place where it feels like your arms are light. Heels are touching, toes flopped apart. Tuck your chin. Notice where your eyes are. Don't look at the ceiling. Instead, shift your gaze downward, maybe towards the middle of your body, down towards your toes, even if you can't see your toes. I can't. And in this way, your cervical spine, your neck bones, just relax. How many of us carry tension in the neck and shoulders? Just this gentle practice of shifting your gaze, looking down your body rather than at the ceiling. Look at some of that kink out of your neck. Heels lightly touching, let your toes flop apart. Your knees will tend to fall to the sides and your hips. Palms facing up, you can imagine you have these gentle little balls of light resting in the centers of your palms. You can feel the warmth of it, the shape of it, imagine the color of it. Just let your fingers naturally curl. And now breathe. Inhale, balloon your belly out. Collarbones wide. Oh, feels great. Chin down. Exhale, deflate the balloon of your belly. Keep your collarbones pulled wide from side to side. Let your belly empty. And feel as if you are lowering your lower back into somebody's upturned palm, letting them hold you. And then when they're holding you, tuck your tailbone a little towards your navel. Inhale, blowing your belly out. Exhale, deflate the balloon. Imagine someone has their hands on both rib cages and they are pressing your ribs together in towards the center line of your body and a little bit downward. Drop your lower back. Inhale, blowing your belly out. And exhale, deflate. It's always interesting to me, I notice that in the deflating, I feel very empowered. Emptying or deflating can have a negative connotation to it, but in fact, it feels to me like I'm pushing some life force throughout every cell of my body, something that comes from the center, from the belly, and radiates outward into every part of me. Okay, the first asana, although this is an asana called Shavasana, corpse pose, but we're going to move into Pavana Muktasana, wind removing pose. Bend your right knee, place the sole of the right foot on the ground. So what does it feel like to just move one part of your body and let all the other parts stay relaxed? Bend the left knee into your chest. Slide your arms in close to your body. As you inhale, pull from all 10 fingertips towards that wall in front of you with your palms facing parallel to your hips. And then bend your elbow tips and clasp all 10 fingers to the webbing, 2 inches below the right knee. Let your elbows nestle into your waist as your collarbones pull wide apart. Tuck your chin towards your right knee. Relax your outstretched leg. Inhaling more. Now as you exhale, guide the right knee towards the right armpit. So notice the slight little bypass of the rib cage as you imagine the right thigh lying down alongside the right rib cage, knee towards the armpit and chin towards your throat. Can you feel a little pinch deep in your right hip? Can you feel a stretch in your left hip? Now there's no wrong answers to these questions. You feel what you feel. And these sensations are just more validation for you, or just more awareness of your nervous system helping you to let go. And these stretches are going to begin to feel like freedom, emotionally and physically. And on the physical level, as the knee comes to the armpit, you're opening the hips and you are massaging your ascending colon. So good for the digestive system. So allowing the soothing to facilitate the stretching. And then release. Place the sole of the right foot on the ground again and bring your arms out to the sides. Notice the sensation you have in your arms. Sort of like that glitter in the glitter wand, right? Settling down as you slide your right leg out to meet the left. Heels touch. Inhale, bend the left knee. Place the sole of the left foot on the ground. Continuing on the inhale, bring your arms in close to your body, almost touching your body as the palms face the hips and you pull with all 10 fingertips, tucking your chin. Bend the knee to the chest, bend the elbow tips at your waist, and clasp all 10 fingers 2 inches below the left knee. Outstretched leg, completely relaxed. Elbows, take a moment to nestle those elbows into your waist and pull your collarbones wide apart so you can feel the grounding of your shoulder blades to the mat. Inhale, tuck the chin. Exhale, tighten at the webbing of your fingers and guide the left knee to the left armpit. Keep your outstretched leg completely relaxed. Shoulders are down from your ears. Collarbones are pulled wide. Elbow tips are nestled in. And here you can again feel that moment of pinch in the left hip. Don't let the pinch make you contract unless it feels like pain. And then of course you simply have to back down this pressure. But go ahead and relax into it. This is what we mean when we say relaxing into a pose. Will help to facilitate the deeper stretching and the deepest soothing. Inhale, collarbones wide, chin down. Exhale, guiding the left knee around the rib cage just a little so that knee feels like it's aimed into the armpit. And here, in addition to opening the hips, lengthening the spine, you're getting a wonderful internal massage of the descending colon. And mostly you just feel this delicious soothing, grounding, calming, and change. Sole of the left foot to the ground, arms out, slide your legs out, take a moment with the heels touching and the toes flopped apart. Check your gaze away from the ceiling and down the middle of your body, and check as you exhale the rib cage. You might notice that your ribs were thrust up. What a great awareness as you bring those ribs down. Now inhale, bring your legs together and bend both knees. Place the soles of your feet to the ground and then inch your heels closer to your butt. Just inching in little by little. Oh my gosh, I have so many clicks going on in my back and my neck today. Yeah, I love those clicks. To me, it reminds me of what happens when you line up the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle and pop them into place. That satisfying moment feels like that to me. As you squeeze your legs tightly together, imagine that you're trying to create one leg instead of two. Bring your arms in close. Pull with your fingertips, lengthen your arms, feel your shoulders get way dragged down from your ears, and then bring your knees to your chest, bend your elbow tips, keeping your head on the mat, wrap your arms, and grab whatever might be available. Could be fingers, wrists, forearms, elbow tips, upper arms. Tuck your chin, relax your feet. Feet are side by side, so uncross them. And as you inhale, collarbones wide, chin down. Nestle the chin into the little hollow between the collarbones. And as you exhale, press the knees to the chest. Now see if you can press with your arms instead of with your hands, keeping your shoulders relaxed from your ears. So as you inhale, tuck your chin, pull your collarbones wider. And as you exhale, pressing the legs together, pressing the knees to the chest, using the forearms if they're touching. And if, in fact, you're holding your elbow tips, now start pulling your knees into the crooks of your elbows. So pulling them outward. Even as you're trying to keep them together with your arms, the knees themselves are pushing outward into the crooks of the elbows. And as you do that, can you feel your back flattening, lengthening, the whole length of your spine, getting this beautiful massage? And this pose right here opens both hips and massages your entire transverse colon, which is where a lot of your nerve endings, most of the nerve endings in your nervous system are in your gut. So a beautiful massage for your digestive system and that function, and a beautiful calming, soothing for your nervous system. And then release. Bring your arms to your sides, keep your knees resting against your chest. Just feel the sensation coming into your arms. Tuck your chin and inhale. Hold your belly out. Pull your collarbones wide. Exhale, deflate. Inhale and turn your palms to the ground and slide your arms in close to your body, and then wiggle and get your arms under your body. So now your hips are on your wrists. Bring the knees back to the chest. Pull your collarbones wide apart, squeezing your shoulder blades together under you. So you can feel this wideness, this expansiveness in your chest. Your hands under your body are relaxed. Exhale. Pull your collarbones and tuck your chin. Inhale and squeeze your legs together. And as you exhale, begin to flex your heels towards the wall in front of you. Flex your toes towards your face. Inhale, collarbones wide. Shoulder blades squeeze together. And as you exhale, slowly lift the soles of your feet parallel to the ceiling. Keeping your legs squeezed together, maybe rotating your kneecaps inward a little, until eventually the soles of your feet are holding the ceiling up. Now at that point, your legs might be straight or your knees might be bent. It really doesn't matter. Notice this beautiful draining that you're getting, this beautiful sense of letting those lower legs, those extremities, completely relax. And yet, even as you pull the heels and flex the toes, you're still facilitating some really nice blood flow through the legs, so it feels light to hold them up. Inhale, flex your heels towards the ceiling. Flex your toes towards your face. Rotate your knees inward a little. And as you exhale, again, flex the heels, flex the toes. Slowly begin to lower the legs as if they're being lowered. You're being held by the ankles by a rope from the ceiling. And now that rope is being lowered like a pulley, being lowered down. Inhale, suck your stomach in. Flex your heels. Flex your toes towards your face. Exhale, allowing this rope to just go a little more slack. Feel yourself floating. Keep pulling your collarbones wide, so you're going to not have that old habit of scrunching in on your chest, feeling the freedom of this new habit of having your chest wide open. As you inhale, pull from your heels, flex the toes towards your face. As you exhale, continue with this gentle lowering down, feeding all the blood vessels in your legs again, soothing and calming, deeply healing, aligning everything. Noticing how slowly you can go, how much control you have. Maybe it's a surprise to you, but there you go. Heels touch. Raise your hips, roll your arms out, and take a moment right here in Shavasana. Slide your arms, palms facing up, heels lightly touching, toes flopped apart, tuck your chin, and breathe in. Inhale, balloon your belly out. Exhale, deflate. Let your lower back drop. Let your rib cage get pressed together. Okay, we're going to do a yoga sit-up. Now this is for you if you have no back issues whatsoever. If you do have any back issues, this is what you'll do. Bring your hands into prayer position with your knees to your chest and roll over to your right side. And lie there, relaxing and curling as you wait for us to join you. Otherwise, the yoga sit-up. Legs together. Flex your heels towards the wall in front of you. As you inhale, bring your arms over your head and pull. And I want you to feel like you are being traction from your heels to your fingertips. Pull from your heels, pull from your fingertips. Feel your waist growing, tuck your chin. You're continuing to inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold your breath here and sit up. Reach for the ceiling, long back. Grab your toes with your first two fingers. Double jerk, double exhale. Shh, shh, and hang. Forehead to knees, chin to the throat, elbows bending towards the calf muscles on the ground beside them. All right, let's do some forward bending, so facing front. All right, beautiful forward bends. They really help you to move into this place of letting go into the present moment. You know, letting go, I'd like to say a word about that. A lot of times people confuse the idea of letting go or surrendering with the idea of giving up. It's the exact opposite. What you're letting go of is the pushing against, the holding tight, and what you're opening up to is this ability to feel like yourself again as everything moves back into its natural state of alignment. And how do you do that? You talk yourself off the ledge pretty much. As we do these poses, you remind yourself to breathe, or you listen to my reminders to breathe. You follow the instructions for gently aligning parts of your body where you might be holding tension inadvertently. And you connect with the feeling of enjoying the freedom that this particular movement is connecting you to. That's what letting go is all about. When you let go, you actually get to be reintroduced to this person of grounded sensibility. That's the person you really want to meet up with as you walk out into the world. So let's do a forward bend. So legs are out in front of you to start, and bend your left leg, knee out to the side, and sole of the right foot against the inner left thigh. Now, if this bothers your knee, keep both legs out. So your both legs are out on 45 degrees, angled to the side. Otherwise, you can try the bent knee. Wiggle around a little bit so both hips are down. This is your grounding now. Both hips are down. And flex the sole of your right foot, right heel flexed out, right toes towards your face. If this flexing causes any kind of pain in the hamstring, bend the knee a little bit. It's all right. There's all sorts of ways that your body is going to accommodate not your limitations, but accommodate you so that you can feel the most soothing and gain the most benefit from the movement that you are about to do. Inhale, bring your arms over your head and clasp together all 10 fingers in a nice strong net, and then lengthen your arms. Squeeze your biceps behind your ears. Pull towards the ceiling. So make sure both hips are still on the ground right at this point. Sometimes one hip comes up, so go ahead, wiggle it down, and feel yourself growing out of your waist. Pulling from the fingers, grounding the hips. Lengthen. Feel the satisfaction of stretching up out of your waist. Turn towards your outstretched right leg, and now throw this net of fingers over the ball of your right foot. Drop your forehead to your knee. Tuck your chin to your throat. Bend your elbow tips. Let them bend beside your calf muscle. Now let's get the forehead to the knee. So if you have to bend this knee up, well, that's fine. If not, that's fine. But go ahead and make contact. This is beautiful. Through your pituitary gland, nestled right there between your eyebrows, controlling all of the organs and functions of your body, including your biorhythms. So you're giving that part of you a nice little massage. Breathe. And now change. Net those fingers, pull forward, arms with your ears, flexing your heel, and lift yourself back up. You know, as you move slowly, you get the satisfaction of every movement, the satisfaction of feeling it. There's no need to skip over these feelings. They are wonderfully soothing. Keep your arms up, and we're going to change legs using the abdominal wall. So, now the left leg is out on the 45 degrees, and the sole of the right foot is tucked up against the inner left thigh. Now, if this causes any pain in the right knee, the right leg out on the 45 as well, and flex both heels. And if flexing your heels forward causes any pain, bend your knees a little bit. Keep reaching up, lifting up, lengthening up, locking your elbows, squeezing your head with your biceps. Turn towards your outstretched leg, both hips on the ground. Maybe lean it back a little bit, and then throw the net of fingers over the ball of your left foot. I'm going to move back into camera again. And for those people who are taking the benefit of this class by watching, forehead to knee. Bend your knee up if that's what you need in order to get the forehead to the knee. Let's get that beautiful little pressure on that pineal gland. Letting your elbows droop, bending beside your calf muscle. Flex your heel forward, flex the toes towards your face, and maybe turn your left knee inward a little bit until it can't go any further, so that you've got this beautiful hip alignment. And then coming up out of the pose, pull forward, feel your spine stack. Turn again towards the center and lift up. And now bring both legs together, right out in front of you. Hips on the ground, arms squeezing against your ears. Lift up from this net of fingers. Pull up. Ground yourself with your hips and lift from your waist, from your arms. Lean back a little. Now as you exhale, come forward. Look at that wall in front of you. Coming forward, and bring the net on the balls of your feet. Or you can take both fingers, first two fingers, take the net apart, first two fingers, and hook them between your first two toes. Keep your eyes steadily looking at something in front of you out of the tops of your eyes so you notice your chin is a little dropped. And walk backwards a little bit. Let's walk back on the hips. It's really nice rocking, opening up the hips. And just resettle your gaze as you inhale, lift your chest, pull your collarbones wide apart, drop your chin a little more, suck your stomach in. And as you exhale, flatten the backs of your knees to the mat. Now there's lots of ways to do this. You can pull your heels forward, you can roll your pinky toes towards your face, you can feel yourself pressing down in the backs of your knees. You can rotate your knees inward towards each other and up towards the ceiling as you lift your chest. You will know that your legs are locked because your heels begin to hover at some point. But if that doesn't happen for you today, it doesn't mean you're lesser in any way. It's not even a goal that you're trying to reach. You're in the soothing place for you right now. That's where you want to be. Inhale, lift your chest. Pull your collarbones wide apart. Suck your stomach in. And as you exhale, again, flattening the backs of your knees. If your heels are hovering at this point, bend your elbow tips, thumbs up. Guide your chest forward between your shoulders. Feel as if you'd like your elbow tips to touch the ground beside your calf muscles as you lay your upper body on your thighs. Inhale, lift your chest, suck your stomach in. As you exhale, once again, flattening the backs of your knees in any number of ways. And if, in fact, your legs are straight, begin this beautiful pull from the chest, leading your forehead towards your thumbs, elbow tips hugging the ground. And then release. Place your palms on the tops of your feet, sliding your palms over your ankles, lifting back up. Your palms end up on your shins. Heels are flexed. Toes flex towards your face. Lock your arms at the elbows. Pull your collarbones nice and wide. Keep your chin lowered. Keep your gaze softly steady in front of you. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pull your collarbones wider apart. Feel the opening in your chest. You might feel your chest leading itself forward a little bit. Exhaling and dropping your tailbone down and tucking your tailbone towards your navel a little. You begin to feel as if you're hovering over the mat. It's pretty great. Inhale, flex your heels. Toes towards the face. Collarbones wide, chin level down. Exhale, deflate your belly. Keeping your collarbones wide, your arms locked at the elbows. Drop your tailbone down. Tuck your tailbone up. arms locked at the elbows and your palms really taut, begin to slide your palms over your knees. Keeping the chin down and your collarbones wide, slide the palms over the knees, starting to slide over the thighs, and lower yourself to the ground one vertebra at a time. You keep lowering down until you're lying down, and then you're in Shavasana. Arms at your sides, sliding them far away from your body so that they feel really limp, your palms face up. Allow your heels to touch and your toes to flop apart. Pull your collarbones wide so once again you can feel your shoulder blades on the mat, that beautiful grounded feeling in your upper body. Tuck your chin. Keep your eyes open for a moment. Notice where your gaze is. And if you shift your gaze downward, what happens in the back of your neck? Do you feel this beautiful soothing stretch? And now close your eyes. And as you inhale, balloon your belly out. Go ahead and fill your rib cage. Pull your collarbones wide. Your chest fills on its own, this beautiful expansive feeling. And as you exhale, feel this feeling of deflating the balloon in your belly. And notice that this balloon, or imagine that it's a big ball of light. And as you exhale and the belly deflates, the light spreads outward from your center. So you're not deflating anything important from your body. You're not deflating at all. You're sending this energy, this calm, through your nervous system, through all of the many, many tendrils, from the main concentration of nerve endings in your gut outward into every part of you. Inhale, balloon your belly out. Collarbones wide, chin down a little. Exhale. Deflating the belly, pressing gently on that ball of light, sending it radiating. And inhale. And exhale. Imagine your lower back now dropping into somebody's very supportive hand, slipped under the small of your back. And close your eyes. And now again, on that scale of 1 to 10, being the curious observer rather than the judgmental person that you're so used to being when it comes to assessing your own body. Just observing 1 to 10. 1, very chill. 10, really frustrated. Where are you right now? I'm at a 1, my friends. I think I might need a lot of water after this to feel that beautiful, to let that water flow through this very, very open vessel right now. Lie here and breathe. We're going to end this session today. I'm going to read a little bit to you from my book, The Blissful Warrior. And as I like to do, I'm just going to open to a page and let's see what comes up for today. Appreciation builds happiness. Start small. If you're not ready to full out appreciate, simply focus on one small truth, which is, I don't have to figure this out right now. The gentle relief of letting yourself off the hook can be enough to soften your heart, even in the hardest of conditions, and to find that sense of appreciation. Abraham Hicks says, a happy life is just a string of happy moments, but most people don't allow the happy moments because they're so busy trying to get the happy life. Take this moment to soothe yourself. Ever since happiness heard your name, it has been running through the forest, running through the streets, trying to find you. But you were never lost. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. You are a blissful warrior, and I hope in this moment you can feel the truth of that. So this person right here, right now, that you can sense that you are, is the one that you will go out into the world with, all lit up and ready to contribute yourself to whatever you encounter for the rest of the day. My name is Rhonda Uretsky. I am the owner of Riverflow Yoga. Riverflow, by the way, is a hot yoga studio located in Lambertville, New Jersey. We did close our doors on March 31st. We are beginning to open our doors little by little. We are starting to offer what we call Guru Yoga. One student, one teacher. In some cases, we're doing a little bit of a expanded guru. One student, one teacher to 2, maximum 3 students. So it's a very personalized, highly focused practice, really paying close attention to COVID safety and soothing. If you'd like more information on participating at our studio in these sessions, please feel free to private message me or put a comment here, and I will contact you, and we'll see what your schedule is and what we have available that suits you. And not only otherwise, but we are here virtually. I'm here every weekday at 12:30 offering you Blissful Warrior Yoga. The other teachers of Riverflow Yoga are also here every day at various times, guiding you through hot yoga. That's our flagship practice at Riverflow, and you can be guided through the beautiful 26 pose sequence of hot yoga from the comfort of your living room with a space heater and a heartful teacher, which is what we will offer you here on our Facebook Live anytime you'd like to tune in. If you'd like to be aware of the schedule of the week, you can check our website at riverflow-yoga.com/schedule and then join us for a practice that will take you home to yourself. Thank you for sharing the Blissful Warrior practice with me today, and I'll be here again tomorrow, and I hope you will too. Go out and enjoy your day. Be safe, be sane, feel soothed.